Simon Hughes. I'm a consultant in radiology, nuclear medicine. I think the modern phrase is consultant radiologist and nuclear medicine physician, but I don't see any patients ever, so I always find it a bit of a stretch to call myself a physician. I've been doing it nearly 25 years. I've done it across the UK. I've done it in Belfast and Nottingham and now in Birmingham, and I might wander off somewhere else. Haven't quite decided yet. I'm current clinical co-chair of the SECs, the people who set up the spring meeting and help sort of guide the other things during the year. So this is my first year as the clinical co-chair. I've got 2 more years to go, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, it's very good. Yes, so I've been thinking about this, and I think there's lots of trite answers, and I think I've told most of them to you, Amber, for the money, of course, because if I wasn't paid, I wouldn't turn up. Also, a bit of luck, meeting the right people at the right time. I think I always enjoyed nuclear medicine because of its functionality, really. We know in radiology now that seeing more and more and smaller is not the right thing. We're not allowed to say tweet anymore. You have to say X. I don't know what you say, re-X or something. Anyway, I've been tweeted once in my life and retweeted once in my life, and that was at BNMS. I was giving a talk, and I said, we have to be very careful that beautiful images and useful images are not the same thing. And I think within radiology, there's an absolute seduction of the beautiful image, whether they be useful or not. When people say, oh, what's the resolution of PET? And you hear the same thing, oh, it's only 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters. No. I tell people the resolution of FDG is 10 nanometers, which is about the size of the glucose transporters and the hexokinase enzymes that trap that molecule within the cell and keep it there and allow us to see it. So I think I like that functionality, and I like that because I think that's about utility. One of my themes about nuclear medicine is that we are quite complicated and quite expensive. We need I said right at the beginning of this conference, we need radioactive production places. We then need to transport. We need to do all these complicated things to produce these images. So if we can be replaced by a simpler image, we are instantly replaced. And that's because we're complicated. So everything we do is supported by, I think, more evidence than any other part of imaging. And I like reading data, I like looking at evidence. I'm a definite evidence-based practice clinician, and I think that's what has always supported me. And sometimes that upsets people because they say things and then you have to say, no, that's absolutely untrue. Yesterday, somebody said to me, F-DOPA is better than DOTA peptide, PET-CT, and I think there are marginal discussions around it, but the idea that F-DOPA is going to replace DOTA peptide imaging is sort of nonsense. And so you can say, no, that's not true. There's no evidence for that at all. And so I think it's the most evidence-based imaging practice. I like imaging. Again, over dinner, I was speaking to somebody, and I've already said I don't meet patients at all. I consider myself a doctor's doctor. I help doctors do their job and they meet the patients, so I very rarely meet patients. But for me, I'm like a puzzle solver. That's what I like to do. So an image comes along and you unpack that image, and sometimes you know exactly what it is, sometimes you don't know what it is at all, and sometimes you have a list of things that it might be. But I like each puzzle, and then it goes to the side, and then I go on to the next puzzle, and then that goes to the side. And again, I was speaking to somebody over coffee, and clinicians come to you and say, Tracy Jones, have you seen Tracy Jones's scan? And you'll know this, Canva. Tracy Jones, and you go, no. And they'll go, the lady with the giant paraganglioma. And you go, oh yeah, and you remember the inside of Tracy Jones with immense detail, because it was this puzzle that you unpacked. But because we don't meet them, because we don't talk to these patients, we don't have that connection to the name, and therefore we do high volume, and I quite like that. That's the other thing I've always liked about imaging, and I think nuclear medicine especially, is that we see the difficult and the strange. So because all the simple stuff is often already done by cheaper and plainer imaging, by the time somebody's coming to us with a clinical problem, by the time they're coming to us saying, would FDG help? It's already a difficult problem. It's already a serious problem with serious questions to be asked. That's probably too long an answer, Amber, but all of those things contribute to why I chose nuclear medicine and why I continue to do nuclear medicine. And hopefully I'll carry on for a bit longer. Yes, I'm sure we'll hear. When I used to do the YouTube channel, and I used to do like little vox pops, and you would go and say, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think?" And in the end, I had to stop everyone from saying, "Oh, meeting people and meeting colleagues," and because this is such a given, I think this is why people come to conferences. They come to conferences to meet real people. So that's not, otherwise we would all be sitting at home doing it online like we had to during the pandemic. And so I think the BNMS is a success because it remains, I think, ruthlessly efficient to evidence-based practice. And it is prepared to say out loud, no, that's not evidence-based. And you hear that throughout all the different professional groups and this diversity. And because of the, I mentioned a bit earlier on, because of the complexity of what we do, we have to get radioactive transport methodologies, radiopharmacists, technologists, the industry, the clinicians, the image reporters, and the people who actually see the patients. We have to try and get all of these people to coordinate. So you need an organization to try and do that. I think the BNS has been successful in doing that and continues to be. Yes, nuclear medicine has always been and remains the most dynamic, diverse and innovative bit of imaging, by far and away. If you go to an MRI conference and they just love a new sequence. One of my jokes about MRI is that it's a religious cult in which all they need is, instead of 78 sequences, if they get 79, then they'll see the truth. Whereas, I think nuclear medicine delivers through its diversity and through its, just diverse technical innovation, starts to deliver these answers. And that's what we've seen in this conference. The themes in 2025 for me are about heterogeneity, how we start imaging that heterogeneity. Now that heterogeneity is the heterogeneity of the patients that we see, the heterogeneity of the diseases that they present with, and the heterogeneity within the diseases that we think we understand. I'm giving you all my hackneyed phrases today, Amber, and one of the ones I keep saying to people this year is, Bertrand Russell said, if you're looking at somebody and you think you know what you're thinking, they're wrong. You're wrong. You don't know what people are thinking. So my adaptation of that is, if you're thinking of a cancer and you think you know what's going on and what's happening, you're wrong, you don't. These are unbelievably complex processes that use our own physiology to kill us. That's the problem. They use the methodology, so like FAPI, so cancer-associated fibroblasts, use the methodology that holds you together as a physical person to kill you. And this is what we're imaging. So these are the challenges that we're imaging. So I think for me, the future is about how we understand this heterogeneity, how I think only nuclear medicine is going to be able to deliver that multi-modality, multi-tracer imaging methodologies to unpick that heterogeneity. And really I almost need the chutzpah and the confidence to say, this is fine, and you must pay for it. We must find the money for these things because we will save you money in the end. So it's a bit like I said at the neuro-oncology session that we had, that was great this year. We're not the expensive thing in these patients' care. We're not. So if people feel it because they can measure it. If it's a £2,000 scan, they think, that's terrible, I'm not going to spend £2,000. But it costs you £2,000 to almost walk into a hospital and sit in an outpatient by the time you've paid for the building and paid for the chair and paid for the receptionist and paid for the nurse and blah, blah, blah. So I think it's about how we understand the heterogeneity of the things that we give labels to, and through that you start to deliver. So we've gone from personalized care. So Stefano Fanti said, personalized care is non-evidence-based care, which I agree with, really to precision, this idea of precision medicine. And I think understanding the heterogeneity of the diseases that we talk about, understanding that heterogeneity is about how we deliver precision medicine. Yes, I was thinking about this when you told me the question. So it's a bit like asking who's your favorite child, you know. It's sort of like, oh, it's very difficult. So usually I'm gonna ignore FDG, which is most of my, lots of our work anyway. Dotapeptide, which is most of my life nowadays. PSMA, which is becoming increasingly part of my life. And really, I think the thing we really love, the child we love the best is the new one. So they've gone off the old ones a bit because they've started to talk back and they're a bit surly. But the new one's just all new and perfect. So I'm going to say FAPI. I think FAPI, so FAPI imaging is showing such potential. And I've seen lots of, I've been to conferences for many, many years and seen lots of tracers that looked like they were going to be. And you do look at them and then they say, this is amazing. And then they show the pictures and you think, that's not amazing. Not amazing at all. And so you wander off after the conference and you think, well, I'll never make it. And I always tell the students that if somebody says, this is going to be useful in 5 to 10 years' time, that's not going to happen. What they actually mean is, I would really like a grant that lasted 5 to 10 years' time so I can carry on working. That's really what they mean. But FAPI, I think, just feels like a tracer which is going to do new jobs for us. Gastric cancer, sarcomas, maybe breast, lots and lots of the diseases that still kill people. And maybe we'll also start to image fibrosis. I remember Adil Abbas saying many years ago, people suffer from fibrosis inflammation. This is really what people suffer with. That's what causes pain to people. And yet we understand it so poorly and we image it so poorly. And I think FAPI starts to open up a world of not just tumoral fibrosis, but fibrotic processes elsewhere in the body. And so let's say my favorite tracer is the brand new little baby, FAPI.